Hi Cancer, this is your general tarot reading for Cancer Sun, Moon and Ascendant, or rising sign, for the month of February 2018. As the first card, two cards leap out, and the first card is the Chariot, which happens also to be the card of Cancer in the tarot deck, followed by the Ace of Pentacles. So, if you saw my videos last week, you know that I shuffle the cards and wait for the right cards to come out just for you, Cancer. And I'm going to talk about the energies in the skies that are going to be surrounding you for the month of February. So what is going to be happening? Well, we know that there is the big lunar eclipse happening on the 31st of January, which is going to impact most of February too, so we better pay attention to this. At least we better know what the heck is happening with this lunar eclipse. It's going to be strong for you, lunar eclipse, you know. It's going to be strong, and it's going to be in your second house of finance, of money, of wealth, the things that you own, your home, your car, any of your possessions, and your talents and skills, but also your self-worth and self-value, as the Nine of Cups just pops out there. So self-worth and self-value. Now, the lunar eclipses, they can often, as the Emperor jumps out, they can often come with a few surprises. They can often come with a little bit of madness, a little bit of melodrama, hyper emotions. That's what they can come. They can come in circumstances that are very highly charged and dramatic. Or they can come in the form of people who arrive that are very, very, very over dramatic. Either way, the lunar eclipse for all of us, not just you Cancer, for all of us, will bring a little element of madness. But the good thing about it is that we learn something in that madness, because we get triggered by these lunar eclipses, and we don't often suspect we'll get triggered. So it's going to be in your second house of finances, worth, value and self-value, and you're probably thinking, no, I'm good, nothing's going to trigger me, I'm perfectly stable and happy in my money and how I feel about myself. It's perfectly good, thank you very much. But because the emphasis is swinging between your second house of money and self-worth and talents, and the 8th house, which is to do with deep transformation, it's the cocoon house, the 8th house. It's where you must go in order to transform into the butterfly. It looks like a disaster. It looks like, if you watch a chrysalis, it looks like the creature inside is dying. Well, instead what they're doing is completely dissolving so that they can reshape themselves and transform themselves into something far more beautiful, far more colourful, with the ability to fly. The 8th house gives you wings. Where have I heard that before? That's what it will do. So these are the two issues that some circumstance or some situation, or most likely a very highly emotional person, might trigger something to kickstart your focus on these two things. Okay, deep transformation and money, transforming your financial world, investments. 8th house has a lot to do with investments too. Examining your money and trying to figure out how to make the most of it. It's not bad, it's quite a wise thing to do, because once you're in control of your finances, and a certain element of power comes from that. I always say this, when people say, I'm a very spiritual person, I don't need money, I've given all my possessions away. As the King of Pentacles comes out, who would be absolutely horrified at the idea of giving away his possessions. You're going to do what? Yeah, when people say, I'm a highly evolved person, I'm going to give everything away, that's nothing to do with being highly evolved. Another card is there, I'll pull that out in a moment. The Two of Swords. And then this was coming out, the Wheel of Fortune. What is highly evolved is the ability to use your money as a form of power. It is a token in order for you to live with a sense of freedom and purpose. Now, you might want lots and lots of money, or you might just be happy having enough to get by. That's not the issue. The issue is having a healthy relationship towards your money and not completely releasing yourself of worldly things. We all need to survive. This is a material world, as Madonna said. We're living in a material world. And as high as everybody's aspiration to transcend the material might be, we haven't been asked to do that in this life. We are here. We are material. This is how we have decided to be in this dimension. To be a three-dimensional figure, solid as the table, and everything that's solid in our lives must also be treated with that same sense of, this is a worldly experience, and if it's a worldly experience, therefore it's also a spiritual experience. Yeah, a lot to get around. I know some of you might not agree with that, but think about it. Think about it. You can't ignore your finances, and you can't ignore the fact that they always have the ability to transform you in some way, for the better or for the worse. Too much money might make people greedy or disassociated with the world. Too little money might make people disassociated with the world for an entirely different reason. So it's all about your perspective, and that's what February is going to make you focus on. Your relationship between your power, your strength, your ability to transform, and your spiritual worth and financial worth. Okay, I'm shuffling the cards here. They're quite slow, Cancer. I'm not too sure why. Sometimes if the person I'm reading for is a little bit tired or worn out, then the cards can go a bit slower. Let's see what else is going on. We have Venus at the start of the month, Venus in the 8th house, Sun and Mercury also there. So the deep transformation is going to be felt right from the beginning of the month. You know, you're going to feel that something's moving, something's changing. Something is never going to be quite the same ever again. And that should be a good thing, because we are creatures who grow. I mean, we observe patterns of time. We watch the moon and the planets going across the skies, days, nights. Everything is a procession of time. And it's our job not to get stuck in any one time as a bunch of cards fall to the floor. Let me get those and I'll come back. The Magician, and the next card was the 9 of Wands. So yeah, it's our job not to get stuck in a moment, not to get stuck in a time warp. That we have to move on. We have to realize when it's time to transform and leave the past behind. Because Cancers, you're great at looking back and having memories. You're retrospective. You have the ability to appreciate the things of the past. You love ancestry and past lives and history and things like that. So you do have the gift and the passion for the past. And yet, because of the way this three-dimensional reality is structured, we also have to know when to move forward and not to get stuck in the past, but rather to appreciate it with a sense of looking back and enjoying it like a fine wine. That next card that jumped out was the Ace of Swords. We have 2 more cards, Cancer, and then we'll see what's going on. Do you feel like you've gotten stuck in a moment in time that you can't get over or can't get past? Well, February is going to change all of that. You know, What else is going on? Venus then moves into the 9th house of broadening your mind and travel and culture, foreign places, foreign foods, foreign people. And Venus is going to be in there with Neptune. So you may be traveling for love. You may be traveling on an adventure. Remember, Pisces is dreamy. You could be traveling somewhere far off to see your favorite band, because they're also music, the Hermit. But there is that sense of going to a foreign place, learning something more, broadening your mind, broadening your horizons, traveling, in order to have more self-love. Love yourself and perhaps find love in the process, if that's what some of you Cancers are looking for. And you'll draw wonderful experiences towards you, because Venus is a magnetizer. And when you travel and when you open your mind and broaden your mind, Venus attracts all the good things to you. I wouldn't have said Cancer was really a small-minded person. You're quite open because you're emotional. Anytime emotions flow, you can be pretty sure there's always movement. The waters have the power to move people along. So does fire, but very much water. I mean, how many times do we get to change our perspective and get to change everything simply after a big argument or a big emotional breakthrough? So you're not somebody who is stagnant, and yet here we are saying that you need a little bit of a push to change. Mars is in your 6th house. We're still waiting on that last card, Cancer. We're more than 10 minutes shuffling the cards and talking about the energies. So I get it. We need to be slow. We need to take our time just to get the right picture for you. Mars is in your 6th house, giving you energy and drive, which is great for your health. The last card is the Tower. So yeah, Mars in your 6th house, energy and drive to take care of yourself, look after your health, and be proactive with your health. It also gives you a warning not to run yourself ragged, not to go and do everything so fast. See, I was doing everything fast and the cards were shuffling. 10 minutes it took me to get this spread. Saying, go slow, baby. Go slow. Slow down. Slow down. Okay, let's take the advice. Let's do as Cancer energy says, slow down. And while we're slowing down, let's move down and look at the cards. Go, 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 go. So like I said, your first card is the Chariot, which is the Cancerian card in the tarot deck. And this card is a wonderful opening card to have, because it talks about feeling like you have the drive and energy and will to succeed in your life. You want to transform your money, you want to transform your finances, and you want to transform your entire world so that you can move swiftly ahead, swiftly, fastly, with a sense of victory. Often this card is like a shooting star. It shoots across the sky so everybody can be in awe of it. And perhaps that's what you've been missing, Cancer. You've been missing that sense of people being in awe of you. And February is going to give you that deep transformation where you feel like you're ready to be enchanting again, where you're ready to get people to look at you again and to be inspired deeply by you again, you know? And here we have the Pentacles beside it. Yep, the universe, through the solar eclipse, focusing on your 2nd house of money and finances, is saying, this is the path that you need to go, Cancer. Cancer, big hand coming out from the sky in the form of a lunar eclipse, saying, it's all about the money now, baby. Your relationship to it, how you see it, how you use it as a source of power in your life, and how you allow yourself to grow strongly and grow steadily with that. It's also quite lucky. I think February is going to be a very important and lucky period for any financial decisions that you have to make, Cancer. So if the energy is behind you in terms of your finances, go with it, run with it, and feel those changes and Be transformed. Allow yourself to be transformed. Now, we said Venus was moving into the 9th house with Neptune. Here we have the 9. Neptune being all the cups, all those lovely glasses of champagne, wine, whatever it is that you drink. Maybe some nice cocktails or mojitos. But that sense of Venus and Neptune, love and dreaminess, coming into your world for the month of February, where you'll feel very satisfied, content. You'll feel like you're able to hold your ground and stand your ground when it comes to love. That if anybody is challenging you in any way, you don't mind because you're able for it. You're satisfied. Sometimes this card can also mean projecting your dreams and desires onto your lover. You may have a fine illusion of them. You may see them as the greatest thing since the invention of, I don't know, the invention of tequila, I suppose. And you may really put a shiny gloss over them, but you're okay with that because you're going to enjoy it anyway. Whatever happens after February, we'll deal with that. But for the moment, you're seeing the people that you love and care about and your lovers as glowy, shiny people that you're quite content with and quite satisfied with. Also, we can't neglect the fact that this guy is sitting on his own. And we are talking about a lunar eclipse in your 2nd house, which is self-value and self-love. Perhaps some of you Cancerians are just saying, you know what? This is the first time in a very, very long time that I am really happy on my own. I'm filling up my own cups of love and my arms are crossed and I'm just sitting down and I'm just enjoying this quiet time to myself, feeling that I love myself enough to be able to do this. And maybe what he's doing, he's got all these lovely glasses of wine behind him and he's probably watching the game. He's probably watching TV, his favourite show, and saying, this is more like love to me. I'm going to close the door to everything and this feels more satisfying than anything else. Now, beside him is the Emperor. Some of you Cancerians might be feeling a great amount of love and glowy energy towards an Aries. You may see them in a very bright and shiny light. And your heart, it'll be like your heart will be glowing for them. This beautiful glowy love for a very, very strong Aries. It could also represent somebody who is very similar to an Aries, somebody who you would say is self-made. They have their own empire. They sit at the top of their game and they are in charge of everything that they do. But you see they have the scepter too here. What you'll admire about them is their ability to channel great insights, you know, and you will trust their opinion. There'll be something about them that you will trust and you will admire and you will cast a shiny glow over them, which is quite nice. Also, I'll show you something. You know the way Cancers, you guys are represented by the crab in zodiac, in the astrology? That you are very, very soft on the inside, but with the hard outer shell. Look at this guy. I mean, this is not a god, but he's the closest thing to being a god, okay? And how we know he's not a god, because underneath his wonderful ceremonial robes, he's wearing armor, which means that he still needs to protect himself from this world, from this material world that we spoke of. He hasn't quite transcended into the next dimension yet where he is godlike. But you will be somehow looking at this person who has strong Aryan energy almost as a demigod. But don't forget, baby, they're still human and they are capable of being hurt. And perhaps some of you Cancerians might feel very protective in some way towards this Aries. You will see, while everybody else sees them as the emperor, the master of their own empire, the sitting on the throne, you'll say, oh, but you don't know them like I do. They're really soft. They're jelly babies underneath. And you know, you don't know that they need protection, that they need that extra care, and I'm here to do it. And Cancers, you're wonderful at that. You're very protective souls. You go in there and if you see anybody down or anybody in trouble, you just can't walk past it. You have to go in and care. It's what we love most about you, actually, Cancer. You do have that big heart and you do care. And my God, when we're down and everybody has deserted us, you will be there. And I think February is going to be a bit like that for you. There will be somebody that you will be gravitating towards them, and they will need your love and your care. It may or may not be an actual love situation, but it will trigger those feelings of caring, of wanting to nurture, wanting to be there for them when everybody else has deserted them, which is gorgeous. Oh God, Cancer, that's just such a beautiful quality that you have. I love that. The King of Pentacles, he jumped out when we were talking about, you know, get rid of all your worldly possessions and embrace the spiritual. And he's like, I do not think so. That is not going to happen. We have not been asked to do that in this world. Sure, we've been asked to focus on our spirituality, but we cannot shake the dust from our feet. We are living in this real world, and the real world demands that we get out there and make money and give ourselves a home, give ourselves a vehicle to drive to and from work, and create a purpose in our lives, something that we must wake up to every morning. Even if it's just a hobby, even if it's not a job, but we must be able to wake up in the morning and follow the procession of time, of day and night, and feel that we've accomplished something within the material world. And that is what February is going to call you to do. It'll awaken that sense of having the need to fill your days with something extremely important, far more important than some of the bullshit that has been thrust upon you in recent years. So get out there and make your millions, Cancer, because the energy is there behind you. And let's not forget, his eyes are closed. Look, his eyes are closed and he's in a deep meditative state, which is what you'll be in the 8th house with the solar eclipse mid-February. You will be going deep, deep, deep down inside through meditation, deep psychological work. And here he has the scepter, the instrument which receives, like a TV aerial, it receives, like a conductor, the higher information from above down to below. As we say, for as above, so below, as within, so without. And yet, if he's able to channel all those things, here he comes with money. See, money is actually important, as is our purpose. But you're in two minds about this, and I get that. Look, here is the eclipse up there in the sky, and it's making you dither. It's making you say, I don't know what I'm doing here. Sure, I need to make money. Sure, I need to go places. The universe has called me to be this shooting star going across the sky with a sense of victory. But how? How do I do this? She is sitting down with her back to the new horizon because she is refusing to look. Look, she has her eyes covered. She's saying, I do not want to look out into the distance. I'm not going there. I don't want to see what's in my future. I just want to stay in the memories, stay in my past. And yet when you do that, you're torn. You can't move in either direction. Here you have instruments that give you the ability to cut through the crap in your life, but your arms are crossed, your hands are tied. That's what it feels like. Your hands are tied. But the news is the lunar eclipse is going to ask you to remove the blindfold, uncross your arms, and look out into that horizon. Broaden your mind and open your mind, Cancer. And it will be luck. It will be very lucky for you when you do that. Because, you know, Jupiter is in your 5th house. Luck in love and fun, romance, pleasure and play, acting like a little kid. All the things are there. As long as you're staying stuck with a refusal to see what's on your horizon, you can't ever experience those things which are being handed to you like a gift from the universe. Come on, baby, shake that off, shake it off, and get out there and play in February. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is the end of a great karmic cycle. If you've watched my video last month, we went into great detail about ending the karmic cycles for you. And the eclipses here in February are really going to open that door super wide and then shut it again mid-February, so that you finally feel a sense of completion in your life. You can feel that things are allowed to end. And once things are allowed to end and doors can be closed on them, then you're on the up. Didn't I say Jupiter was going to bring you good luck? And here we have it for the month of February. But particularly with the Magician, good luck in finding new paths and new avenues. So with all that deep transformation that's going to be happening for you in February, what you'll find at the end of it, after the Magician has worked his alchemy, like being in the chrysalis, in the cocoon, when that alchemy has worked, you'll come out as the butterfly, and he'll say, you can go this way, a little butterfly, or you can go that way. Either way, there's so many directions for you to go, you know, and here are flowers. What do butterflies love? They love flowers. So it's like, you can take your time and rest. It doesn't have to be a big rush. Go slow, as the cards have shown us, as I was shuffling them. Go slow, take your time, do the work, do it deeply, and then by the end of February, your paths will be clearer. You'll have a much better idea of where it is that you need to go, okay? So there'll be no more confusion once February ends. And let me see, where are we going then? We're going with the 9 of Wands. Now this card often feels, you know, when it comes up, it's the energy of just feeling absolutely like you want to give up. You're saying, you know, I've put so much energy into something, so much time, effort, and I've been inspiring other people, I've been motivating other people, and yet here I am standing alone, holding everything up on my own, feeling a little battle weary and war wounded and cross. Look at his face, he's not impressed. It's like, after all the work I've done, do I not have something better to show for all of this? I've given all my love, I've given all my time, my devotion. I've put effort and energy into places where everybody else kind of gave up. I stuck with it. I don't know if I have the energy for the final push. But you do, baby, because here comes the universe again. Here comes the universe. Charging in to be your savior, to be your rescuer. And he's offering you the sword of truth. See this guy, he was so busy building foundations, building his world, building his life, his dreams, his hopes. And there is a moment where he's trying to see the horizon, but all he can see is the things that he was building are now the obstacles that he's holding. So at some point in February, you'll say, these dreams are now actually more like a burden. And I can't see the wood for the trees, you know, because I can't see past all of the things that I've been trying to create. I'm just stuck. And the universe will say, here's a big sword for you, baby. You're going to come in and you're going to chop all of that dead wood down so that you can begin to see new horizons again. This is the card of a new truth straight from the universe. Maybe towards the end of February, you will have that realization, or you will have an opportunity to hear some home truths, something that people are going to come to you, that you're going to hear somebody say something to you and it will resonate very strongly with you. And even if it sounds negative at first, don't ignore it, because it is the universe trying to hand you the truth so that you can cut through some of the bullshit that has grown around you as you have tried so diligently and patiently to build this beautiful world, you know. So truth is coming and truth will set you free, baby. I'm going to move this up here so I can see you, Cancer. Now towards the end, I mean, look at this. This is quite unusual. You have the Hermit card and he's turning his back on the Tower. Okay, so the Hermit it symbolizes deep wisdom, deep knowledge. This guy is prepared to go it alone. Didn't we say that before? Some Cancers are prepared in February to really focus on the things that they want now, rather than the things that other people want. because you've been overburdened. You've been trying to help people, help them fulfill their dreams, you push them along, help them. And really, it's just giving you a headache. Now you're kind of saying, but what do I want? What is it that I need? There's a truth in here somewhere, which the universe is going to give you, and it's going to kickstart you. It's going to push you into finding your own truth. What do you want, baby? What, in your version of your world, in this 3D dimensional world, what is it that you want? And you'll begin to shine a light over everything in your life, in your love, in your work, your career, your friends, your family, and you'll say, am I doing all of this with a sense of truth, with a sense of purpose, and with a sense of authenticity? And if there are avenues in your life where you don't feel that they're kind of moving with the flow, moving with you, then you'll be given the opportunity to understand why they're not moving and they're not flowing properly for you. You know, this is also the card of a Virgo. The universe could be asking you to prod a Virgo along. Maybe they're moving too slow. Maybe there's something about a Virgo that's really, really annoying you right now. You're trying to focus. You're trying to get deep into your own truth. And they're just trying to distract you all the time, saying, what are you doing? Why do you want to do that? You know, there's nothing important about what you're doing. You're looking for truth. That's just navel gazing. And you're saying, no, but this is important for me. So maybe the universe is going to force you to push a Virgo a little bit out of the way. Out you go. Goodbye. For now. Not forever, just for now. Your last card is the Tower. Great zaps of lightning, which that's what it's going to feel like with the 2 eclipses this month, Cancer. Great zaps of lightning, particularly on the 15th of February when the solar eclipse hits your 8th house. Deep transformation will come once all the structures are broken down. Again, it's the butterfly and cocoon syndrome. In order for the butterfly to be created, it must be destroyed within the cocoon so that it can come out transformed and ready to fly. So don't panic when all these big changes come, because when the Tower comes, it'll feel like a sudden shock, a sudden moment where everything is collapsing and falling apart. Remember, which is what you're good at, Cancer. You remember everything. Remember these words that I tell you. When everything seems like it's falling apart and falling down, that is the exact moment that the universe is offering you a real insight and truth into your life, so that you can begin again on steadier ground, better equipped, and going into your future in a more authentic way. I like that, Cancer. So yeah, to sum it up, you're the shooting star across the sky. The universe is handing you that gift of making money and transforming deeply with a sense of purpose in your life, developing that sense of purpose, asking you not to turn your back on your future, not to stay stuck in the past and to be in a state of complete indecision. Once you turn around and take off the blindfold, baby, there are choices, more choices than you can dream of. And it is part of your luck to have these choices. We can't keep, when luck comes and opportunity knocks, we can't keep ignoring them because they don't come all that often, you know? So when they come, we got to go with them. You'll be feeling the love for an Aries, really respecting them, really loving them, and you will be caring for them in some way. That's it. Whatever about love, attracting love or whatever, it's more of a case of caring, deep caring. And you'll be deeply caring for yourself too. Any of the obstacles as you were building your dreams for the future, any obstacles that you've come across where you feel, I just can't do this anymore, the universe will give you the knife to cut through all of those thorn bushes. It will also give you the prod to find deep insight into your life and maybe push a Virgo just out of the picture for a moment and then that great lightning zap where everything seems to be falling apart, but it's not really falling apart. It's just like a bulldozer clearing the way so that your super new life can begin again. Okay, Cancer, I wish you the very best of luck. Not that you need luck for February. I hope it's a good one. And if this is the first time watching my videos, then please subscribe and like and share and join me on Facebook, and come back next month so that we can find out where the rest of your journey on your golden chariot across the sky is going. Cancer, I'm going to leave you with a big kiss from me to you. Mwah. Love you lots. Bye.